Welcome back to Cinematic Trash. Today, I am going to look at the Boutique Blu-ray Iceberg. Now, I'm a Boutique Blu-ray collector, as you can see behind me, and I'm sure a lot of you watching are also Boutique Blu-ray collectors. And I kind of discovered this iceberg on Reddit, devoted to the tier levels of obscurity when it comes to boutique Blu-ray companies. Some of us stick to one boutique company, some of us collect from a bunch. But there really doesn't seem to be a definitive list of every single boutique Blu-ray company that's out there and their entire catalog. Iceberg videos are popular on YouTube, so let's check out the Boutique Blu-ray Iceberg. And my oh my, this is pretty cool. So let's start from the top. So the very top, in the sky of this iceberg, DVD. Just DVD. I guess that's pretty self-explanatory. DVDs, a lot of us collectors started by collecting DVDs. After VHS, after Laserdisc, after Betamax, but before Blu-ray and before 4K, and before HD DVD, there was DVD. And I think DVD is still the leading physical media format in sales. But yeah, some boutique companies, they don't normally release DVDs. Criterion does. Criterion is the most notable company that makes sure to put out DVDs, which I think is pretty cool. I think Arrow Video and Severin Films had done DVDs. I don't know if they still do them, but yeah. Tier 2. These are pretty specific, I guess. Unrated releases of raunchy comedies. Okay, so I think what that means is like, raunchy comedies will be in the theater, then it'll get, your regular physical media release, and then somewhere down the line, a few months later, they'll put out the unrated version. So there'll be like slightly extended, a few minutes of extra scenes added in the movie. For example, Bad Santa, the unrated release of the movie is Badder Santa. It's more of a gimmick. It's just a gimmick is what it is. Oddly specific though. Marvel's Phase box sets. So for any boutique Blu-ray collectors out there, Marvel Studios puts out, famous for the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Once they completed the first 3 phases, the Infinity Saga, as it were, they put the box sets for each phase, and they labeled them as such. Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, Phases 1 through 3. There's a bunch of different box sets out there. It's hard to keep track. Director's cuts. Similar to the unrated releases of raunchy comedies, there are director's cuts out there. The Disney Vault. Disney is notorious for being their own distributor for their own movies and being kind of weird about the way they release their movies. Usually Disney puts out their own Blu-rays, although Criterion did manage to put out a Blu-ray of WALL-E. Yeah, I haven't watched this yet. I hadn't watched my copy yet because I just recently watched it on Disney Plus, but I do have the WALL-E Criterion, and WALL-E is a Pixar movie which is owned by Disney. 10th Anniversary Editions. I'm guessing this could apply to really any anniversary edition, like there's the Jaws 25th anniversary edition, there's the 50th anniversary of this, the 30th anniversary of that, 100th anniversary of Nosferatu, you know what I mean? It's usually big companies like Universal or Warner Brothers. They'll put out anniversary editions of movies. That's what that means, and that could apply to any milestone anniversary. All right, moving on. We are now underwater in this iceberg. Walmart slipcovers. I think that's referring to sometimes big movies will be put in stores. The distributor will strike a deal with certain stores like Target, Walmart, maybe some other companies, and they'll put out their own exclusive slipcovers, their own exclusive covers for these movies. FYE, the For Your Entertainment store does that too. Walmart's not the only company that does this. Digipacks. So, you probably can't see it, but up here above, on top of my shelving, I have my Digipacks. So Digipacks are when your Blu-ray, your DVD, or your 4K gets some special packaging. You know, you can fold it open. It's got cool stuff in it. May come with a booklet. It's not your conventional DVD or a Blu-ray, you know, plastic jewel case. So that's what digipacks are. Digipacks are just neat packaging. That's all it is, neat packaging. Extended editions. So extended editions are pretty much the same thing as director's cuts. I don't know why they're in different tiers, but yeah, extended editions like the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings extended editions. Just recently, the Halloween Ends, Jurassic World Dominion, those movies got extended editions because the theatrical cuts weren't so great. So though sometimes companies will put out the extended edition and hope maybe people will like the movie better. Maybe they'll sell more DVDs. They convince people, oh, we'll insert, you know, new footage in there. You know, maybe people will give the movie another chance. That's what these are essentially for, extended editions. The 40 horror film pack. So I'm pretty sure the 40 horror film pack is referring to this, the 50 movie horror classics box set from Mill Creek Entertainment. It's not 40 movies. I think that might be a mistake. Don't get me wrong. There are box sets. Like, you can get multiple movies on one disc, and there's usually no limit to however many movies you can fit into one DVD pack. There'll be you could get single movies, you could get a double feature, you get triple feature, you could get 4 movie pack, 5 movie pack, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It goes on and on. 20, 25. This is just another number for 50 movies. There's 100 movie pack, there's 200 movie pack, there's a lot. The Iceberg here says 40, and 40 is a bit of an arbitrary number that I have not seen. I've seen all kinds of movie packs except for 40, but there does exist 50, which I do have. If anyone's aware of a 40 horror film pack, then please point that in my direction so I can take a look at it. The Best Buy Steelbook. Just like Walmart slipcovers, Best Buy usually has a deal with some companies, and they'll put out their own exclusive steelbook cover, or their own exclusive steelbooks, and you can only buy them in that store. Pretty self-explanatory. Super Bowl. I don't know what that means. This is probably referring to, I'm sure there's a DVD or a Blu-ray box set out there that has recordings of every Super Bowl up to now. There's probably a 50 pack devoted to the 5th Super Bowl 1 through 50. I think that's what that's referring to. If I'm wrong, then please let me know in the comments. All right, we are now down to tier 4. This is, this should have been top tier actually, but sure. Here we are, tier 4. We're deep in the iceberg now. Shout and Scream Factory. So Shout and Scream Factory are the companies that put out Blu-rays and now 4Ks of mostly horror movies, which is from Scream Factory. Shout Factory is the company that owns Scream Factory. Scream Factory is like one of many labels that Shout Factory has. The other one being Shout Select and Shout TV. There's a lot. Shout Factory does a lot. Shout Factory also put out, I think, almost the entire catalog of Ultraman stuff on Blu-ray and DVD. Shout Factory does a lot of TV shows. They put TV shows out a lot. Moving on, Criterion. This is probably, this should be at the top of the iceberg. Everyone knows Criterion. Even people that don't collect boutique Blu-rays, they kind of know that Criterion is a thing. You know, they'll go to the Barnes & Noble for anything. They'll go in the movie section and they'll see there's a whole section devoted to Criterion stuff. What else can be said about Criterion? Criterion is the boutique Blu-ray company. Criterion is the reason why all of these exist. Coming into a close second, of course, is Arrow Video, which is next in the same tier. Arrow Video, if you kind of start collecting Criterions, usually Arrow Video is like the next best thing. Although Arrow Video is more like, you know, more for horror and cult movies. Although Arrow Video has kind of grown out of that lately, but they still keep up with it. Shout Factory, Scream Factory, Criterion, and Arrow Video are all the top dogs in the boutique Blu-ray market. Subject to change though. So here we are in tier 5. This is deep on the iceberg. So all these companies deal more in deep cuts. These are deep cuts, except numbered limited run, I think that's not even a label. That's just a practice that some of these companies do, like Indicator does. But yeah, so here in tier 5, there's Vinegar Syndrome, 88 Films, Synapse, Second Sight, Paramount Presents, Eureka, Severin, Warner Archive, A24, Indicator, Draft House, and Kino Lorber. All these companies do great, excellent work, but they do a lot of deep cuts. That's what these companies show love to, like movies that kind of been forgotten or kind of faded into obscurity. And then, Kino Lorber will put the movie on a really nice Blu-ray. Warner Archive will put it on a really nice Blu-ray. Indicator will put it on a really nice Blu-ray. And you got companies here like Vinegar Syndrome and Severin. These companies are like similar to Arrow Video, but they'll put out stuff that I think Arrow Video wouldn't touch. You know what I mean? Then you got like Eureka, Indicator. Like those are all like more UK-based companies, so harder for someone in the United States to get them. So I guess that's probably why it's this deep on the iceberg. So we got companies like A24, Warner Archive, Paramount Presents. So those are like when the company that actually produces the movie wants to put out their own Blu-ray, their own special Blu-ray line. That's what that is. Those companies act as their own distributor instead of licensing them out to someone like Criterion or Arrow Video or something like that. Tier 6. This is really deep on the iceberg. So you got 101 Films, Artificial Eye, Cauldron Films, Imprint Films, Twilight Time, Shameless, BFI, and here it says out of print. Yeah, I guess anything out of print is tier 6, I guess. I don't know if I agree with that, but yeah, I don't have except for imprint. I have a few imprint releases, but I don't have a single one of these, except for I have some out of print titles, I guess. But yeah, once again, these are all deep cuts and or any label that's now defunct. Like Twilight Time I don't think is around anymore, unfortunately. It is kind of funny putting Cauldron Films and Imprint Films on the same tier. Kind of. Here we are, tier 7. This is the deepest cuts you could find, most definitely. So, Tufan, I've never even heard of them. Nova Media, Plain Archive, AE Films. Those are like really deep cuts. Those are smaller companies that put out kind of movies I've never even heard of. Cohen Film Collection, again. A lot of foreign movies go on there. Yeah, a lot of movies I've never seen. Misprints. This is probably referring to when a boutique Blu-ray label puts out like a Blu-ray set or a Blu-ray disc, and like there'll be like a spelling error or like a misprint on the packaging. Like for example, like Vengeance Trails from the 4 movie set from Arrow Video. Like that set had a misprint where the decal on 3 of the Blu-rays within the set had the same decal when they should have been different decals. So yeah, I think that's what misprints is referring to. This is the complete boutique Blu-ray iceberg. So what did we learn from this iceberg? I think this iceberg covers all its bases, but I do notice that there are a lot of companies on here that are kind of not included, and I think the placement of some of the items here included, I don't think they're in the right spot. Like I don't know, Criterion, Shout Factory, Arrow Video. Like I don't know if that's tier 4 level of iceberg, I guess. And I don't know, is it really necessary to put like just a DVD in its own category? You know what I mean? Unrated, like some of these are oddly specific, like unrated releases of raunchy comedies. Like what? Boutique Blu-ray Iceberg, does that need to be on the Boutique Blu-ray Iceberg? I don't know. And I do notice that there are a lot of companies missing that probably should be on here. Like MakeFlix's like Retro Media should be here somewhere at the bottom. Garage House Pictures is not on here. Full Moon Features is not on here. Like there are plenty of other companies that are not on this iceberg that could have filled it up some more and maybe made this iceberg a little bit more accurate. Anyway, thank you everybody for taking the time to watch my video. Let me know, what do you think of this iceberg? And also, if anyone out there wants to make another iceberg, a more accurate iceberg, then please go ahead and do so. I really would check that out. That's all I got for today. Until next time, take care.